Welcome to the Hope is Not a Plane podcast, where we address tough questions head on, face our problems, and highlight our hopes by providing actionable planning steps to improve ourselves, mind, body, and spirit. Now, let's get logged in and get locked on to this episode of the Hope is Not a Plane podcast. Hey everyone, Kevin Pannell here for another episode of 5 Minute Friday, 2 years, 2 rules, fight and find joy of the Hope is Not a Plane podcast. This one's going to hit a little close to home. You might have noticed I've been a bit off schedule the past week. That's because I was helping to take care of my dad, George Pannell. As I shared on the previous episode, Dad passed away after a 2-year-long fight with metastatic prostate cancer on the morning of April 2nd, 2024. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Metastatic prostate cancer is a brutal opponent. It took him way too soon, but here's the thing. Dad wasn't one to just lie down and take it. That is not who he was. For the past 2 years, he fought like hell. He researched every treatment option. Together, we pushed the doctors for answers. He even tried some experimental stuff. Did he complain? Sure, there were moments. And many times, as he asked somebody to get him another piece of cake or some ice cream, he would joke, "Oh, I'm sick," with a voice just like that. Sure, there were other moments when the pain started to kick in near the end of his life, but mostly, Dad focused on what he could control. He kept moving, he kept learning, and he kept living the best life he could with the time that he had. And he played golf, and he loved on his grandkids, and he just kept going. He won numerous golf matches with his buddies at the club. He took a wonderful trip to Florida and to beaches in North Carolina, to our home in Southwest Virginia, and to my sisters in Central Virginia. He spent time, he was tired, he had hot flashes from treatments. Eventually he had pain, but he didn't complain about it. He just asked for a little help. As he tried to eat, as he tried to stay hydrated, as he tried to manage his pain. And that's the thing. When you face something hard, you have to keep that hope. But you have to keep that fight in you. And with that fight, you have to plan what you're going to do. What treatment do we think will be the least impactful? What will be the most beneficial? How much time? What are the numbers? There's a lot that go into it. It's a roller coaster from the beginning that you hear you have cancer until you take your last breath. And there's no guarantee and there's no exact science to it. So, like my dad, George Pannell, I submit to you, if you're that person suffering, if you have cancer like I have, like others, many of you have, and we've lost somebody, fight. Put your plan together. I mentioned before, we'll talk about patient advocates and healthcare and navigating the system because it's not easy, folks. It is not easy. I'm not saying everybody has to fight cancer the same way, but whatever battle you are facing, remember, hope is not a plan. It's a feeling, it's an emotion, but it doesn't win fights. What wins fights is action, is strategy, is a relentless pursuit of a better outcome. Sometimes, though, we don't get the outcome we wanted. We don't get to be where we want to be. We don't get to do what we want to do. We don't get to die how we wanted to die. But if we've done so, having lived, having taken advantage, having pushed ourselves, having enjoyed things that we love so much, like my father loved golf and being outside and being with his family, then we get a pretty good outcome. So listen to this, Dad. This one's for you. You may be gone, but the lessons you taught me and the lessons I'm sharing here, the way you faced your challenge, they will stay with me and these listeners and everyone around the world that you touched forever. Thank you for showing me what it means to truly fight and to win and to live. Thank you all for listening, for pressing play. I wish you all Godspeed.